Aries, welcome to your hopes, fears, and reality spread. As per usual, all right, let's try that again. As per usual, you can click right on that description box below, and it will talk about the significance of the spread as well as the placement of each individual card. With that being said, let's roll. Okay. As simple as it can be, you're hoping the worst is over and that you're going to move on. Okay? You're hoping that this painful ending brought a particular truth and that you can take that lesson, move forward, and go into expansion. This is the breath before the run where you're like, I get it. I had to go through this painful time. I had to go through this painful experience, but I'm over it. And that's exactly what you're hoping for. You're hoping to be over it. That's it. It hurt. You dealt. You're over it. That's what you're going for here. But you fear that there's still more sacrifice that needs to be made, right? You fear, like your perspective is, I'm over it, but if you stare at it long enough, you're like, oh, there's still some work that needs to be done, but you don't want to put in the work. Okay? You're hoping to skip a step. You're hoping to skip a step of the healing process. The reality of the situation is there is no gratuity for what you went through. That's the step that you're trying to skip. You know, when we go through the stages of grief, when bad things happen, in order for lessons to be learned, there always becomes a time when you've really transmuted that energy, when you're actually over it and indifferent to the process. It's when you say, oh, okay, you know what? It sucked that this happened, but now I understand why, and I'm thankful for the lesson that was learned. That's the part that you're missing. You kind of get why you had to go through it, okay? You understand the lesson, but you haven't lived the new lesson learned yet in time for it to be grateful. And you're just kind of flirting with the idea of, yeah. Okay, I'll get to that. You see what I mean? So you're hoping to get over it faster than the universe is letting you. You don't want to put any more work into it. You're like, I'm done. The reality of the situation is you know exactly what step you're missing. And you're hoping that'll come in time. Maybe it will. The reality is saying it's not there yet. It's not saying that it's never going to happen. Ooh. All right, so a bunch of cards just flipped out, and we're going to take all of them. So the first one that came out was the Six of Swords. So we all know this one. This is the tarot taxi, or the water Uber, as I've heard it called. But yeah, so this is you moving on from choppy waters to calmer waters, but you still have these six swords in your boat. That doesn't make for a smooth ride on a boat, especially whilst you're still in choppy water. It is important that you take all of these lessons with you, but you're still feeling the roughness of the situation, and you're telling yourself that you're not. You don't have faith in the process, which is why you're stuck at the end of a healing cycle. You still want, quote unquote, revenge. You want to drop the inner conflict, but the exterior conflict still boils your goose, so to speak. You know, it's like you want to be indifferent to this situation. Like I said, you want to be over it, but there's still this pull that makes you're not wrestling with yourself, but you're still mad at everybody else in the process. And ultimately, a sense of charity or forgiveness has to happen, but you're not ready to give or accept that yet. You have to let go in order to find that emotional happiness. But according to these cards, You're just not emotionally there yet. Sometimes Aries, in order to get over something, you just have to sit with the pain. And if there's anything that I'm seeing from this right now, this is one of those times when you just have to sit with the pain a little longer before you can move on from it. I know it hurts, I know it sucks, but it's a part of the process. And it seems like it's a necessary one. Accept it for what it is, forgive yourself, and move forward. I hope you found a message that serves your highest good, and I'll see you guys next time.